Honorable Jeremiah Umoru, the Deputy Chairman of PAC. Let's see what recognize his presence. We have other members of the House of Representatives here today with us. Honorable Akiba Bassi, please let's warmly welcome him. Honorable Mark Essett, let's welcome Honorable Mark Essett. Honorable Okolu Ete, please rise to the recognition. First, welcome to you, Honorable Fatoba S. Ushama. Very warm welcome. Honorable Boyega Isiaka. Very warm welcome to you. Honorable Adewale Morufu Adebayo. Honorable Oluwafemi. Honorable Yampa Zachariah Dauda. Very warm welcome. Honorable Joshua Audugala. Honorable Tunji R. Olawi. Thank you for your presence. And Honorable Abiola Peter Makinde. Welcome. Honorable Tinieri Adebebe. All right, so we'll make more recognitions as soon as we have more names. Thank you.
So we'll just move on now to goodwill messages, and I have the singular honor of inviting Mr. Andrew Odili, the Director overseeing the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation, to speak to us for a few minutes. He is ably represented here by Representative.
Okay, so he's ably represented by Badimaye Oludotu Emmanuel, the Director of Audit. Sorry, he couldn't read my writing. I write like a medical doctor. He's a warm welcome to you.
The Right Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, ably represented by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Kanu, Majority Leader, Professor Philos Mponoke, Deputy Majority Leader, Honorable Abdullah Ibrahim, Deputy Minority Leader, Honorable Adesoni Madaki, Chairman, Public Accounts Committee, Honorable Bamidele Sabatu, Deputy Chairman, ADSC, Honorable Jeremiah, and other honorable members they are present. I am Adebayo Dr. Emmanuel. I'm representing the Auditor General of the Federation, who is unavoidably absent. Yes. To be sincere with everybody here present, I have not cited him for over a week now. He traveled out of the country and he delegated the assignment to me. That is why I'm standing before you. Sincere, Owundili is around. So I've never cited him. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. You didn't tell me you are around.
You should have called me now, sorry. Sorry, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, the Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, the Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, also the Chairman, Public Account Committee of House of Reps, Right Honorable Rep Bamidele Salami. Other honorable members here present, and also if there are other senators here present, I also welcome you to this occasion. I'll start. The Public Account Committee, the PAC of the National Assembly, is the foremost committee that is constitutionally recognized to consider the reports submitted by the Office of Auditor General for the Federation, thereby making this unveiling of the committee a very important step that shows the readiness of the 10th Assembly to support the fight against corruption. I appreciate the members of the House of Reps, ably led by the Honorable Speaker and other key stakeholders on the passage of the Federal Audit Bill, which seems to have been a recurring challenge since the advent of the Fourth Republic. You started by breaking the jinx of previous assemblies that usually pass the bill at the twilight of their tenure, which then leads to last-minute hiccups that can no longer be addressed. I'm very optimistic that this timely intervention by the House will receive Mr. President's assent, who is also keen on promoting transparency in public accounts. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Office of Auditor General for the Federation, thank you so very much. Honorable Speaker, it is important to note that the task ahead of the 10th Assembly Public Accounts Committee is quite enormous, especially when the goal is to ensure there is a productive approach towards the fight against corruption. I would suggest that the House can support the committee's work by ensuring that the Auditor General for the Federation's annual reports, as well as other special reports, do not stop at the committee's level, but that after deliberation and review of the reports, they should officially present the outcome at plenary. This will ensure that the National Assembly passes appropriate resolution that can be taken for further executive action. That is why we can say we are fighting corruption, or at least stopping the fight. Honorable Speaker, the Office of Auditor General for the Federation will continue to seek your support and that of the Public Accounts Committee to strengthen our operations and make resources available for our work. I assure the Chairman and Honorable members of the PAC that the Office will continue to provide you with all necessary technical and operational support that is required to enable the 10th Assembly to surpass the achievement of the previous assemblies, especially in the fight against corruption. We look forward to our harmonious working relationship that will promote public probity, accountability, and transparency. I thank you all. Deputy Speaker and my Chairman of Public Account Committee, I still stand here to thank you so very much for all you've done. Just within how many days you resumed at the House of Representatives, within how many days we'll be able to pass our bill. We also pray that same will also be done at the Senate. And also, we don't have any ministry that we can always try to go to. But we report directly to the Parliament, that National Assembly. to prayer, you also support us. Even that building where we are now is also by the National Assembly. They assisted us. We don't have any ministry to assist us. So thank you so very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is executive advocacy. Can we give him a round of applause?
Okay. And so we'll make more recognitions. Like I said earlier, we'll make them as soon as we have the list. We recognize the presence of Honorable Shekau Zua. Your turn. Honorable Shekau Zua, your turn. Please stand for recognition. And Honorable Ojema Ojotu. A round of applause for him. Honorable Martin Essien. Honorable Mansour Musa. That's him there. Please put your hands together for him. Honorable Tijani Kayode Ismail. Thank you. Honorable Boma Goodhead. Round of applause. Honorable Aliu Madaki. Honorable Aliu Bissau. That's it over there. Honorable Kabiru Abadu. That's it over there. And then we have Honorable Taufik Ajile Soro.
Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, ably represented by my brother, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. I also extend this protocol to the Chairman of the Public Account Committee, who made a series of efforts to invite us to this gathering. Well done, sir. The Deputy Chairman, who happened to be my fellow member in ICANN, and insisted in writing my name must put FCA. I wanted to say, what about other bodies, ACCA, ADAN, strategic management, that will insist that they must put my name, but he chose to take the one that it belongs to. Thank you so much. And I also extend my greetings to all the honorable members of the Public Account Committee on this very important occasion of unveiling of the PAC of the 10th Assembly, and also the capacity building, which we show up trainings for all the members and possibly for all of us, that we continue to engage with PAC as time goes on. So I want to extend my greetings to all members that are here, the ladies and gentlemen, and members of the press. Public Account Committee, as you all know, is one of the constitutional committee of the National Assembly, existing at both the Senate and also at the House of Representatives. For this very occasion, I'm so delighted because of the way and manner that the PAC House of Rep choose to commence the activities in this 10th National Assembly. This is a very beautiful beginning where all stakeholders are being brought together to brainstorm, to discuss on how future engagements will look like. It is a warm way of bringing people together on issues that are very important and of national interest. Office of the Accountant General of the Federation as we all know, produces and prepares the consolidated financial statements of the federal government, which accommodates over 900 ministry, departments, and agencies' accounts. They are prepared, presented to the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation for them to perform the auditing of these financial statements, after which the reports of the Auditor General of the Federation will now be transmitted to the Public Account Committee for the consideration of their findings. So in this situation, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, especially the Accountant General of the Federation, is always the auditee who will be made to sit and go through series of questions, provide answer to those questions, and that leads to other MDAs that have series of their reports are having issues with to also follow the same suit. So starting from this point is giving me the assurance that I have brothers, I have sisters at the National Assembly, especially the Public Account Committee, that we always look thoroughly at the records, the reports, and pick issues that needs further clarification and possible resolution. I have known that members of public account committees, they are always very knowledgeable, very cerebral when it comes to working with figures, numbers, especially as regards the public funds. They are all making efforts to ensure that the accountability and transparency that are very key in managing public funds are adequately addressed at every point. So I appreciate all this, and I hope and pray that going forward the relationship will be very harmonious. We'll be engaging, having robust engagement on issues and resolve them there and then, and hoping that after the resolutions of all the issues, the final outcome is transmitted to the plenary for final approval. We are eagerly looking forward to this, because if we don't vacate from one year, moving to another year becomes a problem. And from all indication, 2019 financial statement is still on the table yet to be concluded. And here we are in year 2023. But I pray that we will get there as fast as possible with the level of the members and chairman of the PAC that I'm seeing here this morning. Thank you so much. I wish you the very best in this occasion. And like it was said by the facilitator, please contribute seriously to this engagement, because it has a lot to do with us going forward. Thank you, and God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me lean on already established protocol so that I don't miss out. It's quite a lengthy one, many dignitaries here. So I salute you. Just as the presenter mentioned, I'm Mrs. Owona, GM, Director, Economic Research and Policy Management in the Ministry of Finance. I was just called this morning, a few hours ago, to represent my Honorable Minister, Mr. Wale Edu, the Honorable Minister of Finance, and Coordinating Minister of the Economy. My permanent secretary is on transit, so I was called upon to stand in for them this morning. I salute every person again and say that the simple message I was given to send across to this honorable gathering by my minister is that he appreciates the work the Public Accounts Committee is doing in the nation. And as a new body that has been elected and constituted, you are coming on board. You've started very well. He appreciates you, and he's looking forward to a cordial relationship between PAC, the chairman, and its committee. We are all partners in progress, working to see that corruption is curbed in the country. We are all colleagues. When we come across, there shouldn't be any problem. We should be able to discuss as brothers and sisters and get our problems solved. As a Ministry of Finance, you will be seeing us most of the time, so we are your brothers. So I thank you all and pray that this lecture will be of benefit to every one of us. Thank you.
Honorable Abdullahi Ibrahim, the Deputy Minority Whip, Honorable George Ozodunobi, the Chairman of the PAC Committee and his deputy, other members of this very important committee, our invited guests, and I will stand on the existing protocol. Mr. Speaker, I would like to start by thanking you. By the way and manner this committee was formed and the caliber of members that are put into this committee. The importance of the Public Account Committee cannot be overemphasized. This committee is a creation of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And in Nigeria, our journey so far, one of our problems has been corruption. And this committee is set up primarily to fight waste and corruption. And I believe with the caliber of members we have, we will be able to do that. And then we have to look, what are the functions of legislators everywhere in the world? Our three major functions are legislation, representation, and oversight. That oversight function is largely to be carried out by this very important committee. It is my own prayer and wish that this committee will do its best for this country so that we get out of the problem of corruption. Mr. Speaker, we thank you very much, honorable colleague who find time to come to this unveiling of this committee, and I pray that this committee will do the right thing for this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ably represented by our Deputy Speaker, the Deputy Minority Leader, the Deputy Minority Whip, the Chairman of the House Committee on Public Account, and his Deputy, our honorable members, and all participants in this very important assignment. I want to really thank you, especially the chairman, for taking his time to organize this very important event. As you are all aware, Public Account Committee is the constitutional committee of the National Assembly. And as we are aware, the Public Account Committee can never function properly except as a joint partnership with the Auditor General of the Federation. So I urge the Auditor General of the Federation to be up and doing so that their reports are always ready for the great task of the PAC committee. We are aware that Nigeria today, our leadership, our renewed hope agenda is intended to curb corruption and move our country to a great height in terms of prosperity and development. And this can never be achieved or can never be completely achieved without fighting corruption through the National Assembly and very particularly through PAC committee. I urge this committee to stand by the wisdom of the standing rules of the committee. I thank you very much, and I wish the committee a very successful assignment. Thank you.
The Honorable Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives, represented this morning by the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Kano. Good morning as well, the Chairman Public Account Committee, Honorable Bamidele Salam, also to the Accountant General of the Federation. Good morning. Good morning, distinguished guests and honorable members seated. I will stand on the protocol that has been established this morning. Thank you very much for having us at this very important occasion. I'm representing the civil society and the media community under the platform of the Civil Society Coalition on Audit in Nigeria. My name once again is Olusegun Elemo. Let me just quickly say that this gathering is one of such important meetings to us as civil societies. We have been working in the audit ecosystem for quite some time. And what is happening this morning is very unique in that this is the first time the civil society and the media community are participating in such a ceremony where the Public Account Committee is being unveiled. And it sends a signal of difference in operation. It sends a signal of uniqueness of approach on the part of the legislature. But just to mention, again, I'm sorry, my apologies to the Auditor General of the Federation who is here. Sorry for missing out on those recognitions. The Accountant General mentioned something about the number of MDAs that are captured in the report of the Accountant General annually. And she mentioned about 900 MDAs. It will interest you to know that once this leaves the table of the Accountant General to the Auditor General for the Federation, we did an analysis on how many of those 900 MDAs that are audited annually. And in 2013, only 23% were covered. In 2014, only 17% of that 900 were covered. In 2015, only 19% were covered. In 2016, only 13% were covered. In 2017, only 12% were covered. It shows something is really, really wrong. We could talk about the resources that is available to the Auditor General to audit all the 900 NDAs. But certainly we cannot measure accountability against this, insignificant, amount of MDAs that are covered annually. Again, when we now talk about the timeliness of the report of the Auditor General, the 2019 report of the Auditor General took about 23 months after the end of the financial year. 23 months. The best practice is that the report of the Auditor General should be out in public domain not more than 18 months after the end of the financial year. But the 2019 report took 23 months. And the report of the Auditor General for 2020 has taken more than 34 months already. And we still don't have it. 34 months already. And we're not even talking about the report of the Auditor General for 2021 and 2022. Also, even when you look at the report of the Auditor General itself, there's a question on the audit approach. And we're engaging with the Office of the Auditor General and kindly requesting that more of performance auditing be employed so that we can really look at efficiency, effectiveness, and economy of public spending of MDAs, and not just the regular financial audit. And I know that the Auditor General has conducted several performance audits, but it's not enough. We need more performance audit to be out. And that's how we can really measure whether public spending are actually delivering results. But then we see a ray of hope in the 10th Assembly. We were very, very delighted, when we saw just last week the accelerated passage of the Audit Service Bill. We were very, very delighted. And I want you to put your hands together for the 10th Assembly. And I want to use this opportunity to plead with the Speaker this morning, who is represented by the Deputy Speaker. We cannot even help the Office of the Auditor General. All of the demands that we are making now, whether around the timeliness of audit report or the need to conduct more performance audit, we can't even begin to make those demands of them if they don't have the legal instruments with which they function effectively. We have no doubt, and I'm speaking on behalf of 120 civil society organizations this morning, including Budget Foundation, Accountability Lab, Step Up Nigeria, Social, SERAP, PPDC, all of the credible civil society organizations that you can look out for in Nigeria. I'm standing here and speaking on their behalf. So those are the hopes that we see, and we expect that the Senate will also follow suit, and then this bill be transmitted to Mr. President for assent. We also see a ray of hope, in the open door policy of the Public Accounts Committee. We have engaged with the Public Accounts Committee of the House of Reps, and we see how open that committee is, and we expect that the committee will continue to be open to us as civil society and media actors so that we can do our work more responsibly. Also, the engagement approach of the committee is really inspiring. Finally, let me say that as civil society organizations, we are making investments in the ecosystem. We will continue to make investments in the ecosystem. And just this morning, one of our partners has just commenced a public audit media fellowship. A public audit media fellowship is the very first of its kind in Nigeria, training investigative journalists to be able to interact with the auditing ecosystem. We will continue to do that and do more and provide the needed support to the Parliament. Thank you very much, and thank you for having us.
Excellency, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, ably represented by the Deputy Speaker, Your Excellencies, the Deputy Majority Leader, Deputy Minority Leader, and the Deputy Minority Whip of the House of Representatives, my leaders and honorable colleagues who are members of the Public Accounts Committee, the honorable ministers here represented, the Accountant General of the Federation, the Acting Auditor General, and all other protocols duly observed. I want to seize this moment once again to welcome us all to the unveiling of the Public Accounts Committee of the 10th Assembly. I have a short presentation. I will try to make it as short as possible, and that's why I requested that they should dim the light up here so that I can quickly run through them. Your Excellency, we're here today because we believe very strongly that you have given us a very important assignment. And in an assignment like this, we must have a roadmap. We must have what we're looking at. And we're taking off from the charge of the Speaker of the House of Representatives himself, the Right Honorable Tajudeen Abbas, who said on the 26th of September, on the resumption of the House, and I quote, he said, government have been fully formed with the inauguration of ministers by Mr. President, while committees have been constituted in the two chambers of the National Assembly. And quoting Mr. Speaker, he said, we have no time to spare in delivering results to our people. Committees must actively engage NDAs to ensure optimal service delivery in accordance with legislations passed by the National Assembly. He further charged that in the discharge of this assignment, we must be guided by established legislative ethics and standing orders of the House. Mr. Speaker is also lucky to have a team of very, very competent legislators. And of course, the man who is representing him today, our Deputy Speaker, we all know, he's a very cerebral, very proactive, and very, very impacting legislator. And by the grace of God, he's standing here today as the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. We have a slide which gives us information on the leadership of the House, right from the Majority Leader, his Deputy, to the Minority leadership. Mr. Speaker, the Accountant General of the Federation made reference to the composition of the Public Account Committee. And a few other speakers have also mentioned same. And I want to use this opportunity to thank you for the due diligence that was employed in the composition of this committee. Now, the House has a membership of 360, and there is none of those 360 who is not competent in his or her own field. But because this is a committee that has constitutionally, or by practice, one member per state of the Federation, which means we must have a minimum of 36 members. And in the tradition of the leadership of the House, due diligence has been employed in making sure that we have quite a whole assemblage of persons with requisite qualifications, expertise, and interest. My humble self serving as the chairman, my dear brother, the ACA. But I usually tell you to put FC, because you always put ACA on his own. No? The chartered accountant, who is the deputy chairman, up to every other person. Our friend, Honorable Bomago had just left now because she had another meeting to attend to. And of course, our leader, the only one who has a white beard in this hall, the deputy chairman of the House Committee on Appropriation, one of the most ranking members of this institution. We have quite a number of members, like I've said, accountants, public sector, governance persons, pharmacists, engineers, technologists. We have a number of legal practitioners as members of the committee. We have members from the real estate and media consultancy. We have members who are into marketing and public administration. We have members who are mathematicians, and of course we have quite a number of bankers in this 10th Assembly Committee of the Public Account. Of course, we have engineers. We have persons who, if you bring any bill of quantity in that field, can help us look at it with the eagle eye that they are trained with. We have people who are economists, quite a number of them in this committee, and quite a whole lot of other professionals. And the purpose, I believe, is to ensure that we bring in the varieties of this expertise in the consideration of issues that will be coming before the Public Account Committee of the House of Representatives. Mr. Speaker, we have just held one meeting, and I want to assure you that the meeting we held has shown that members are really, really ready to hit the ground running and to ensure that the confidence reposed in us by the leadership of the House and by extension the Nigerian public is well justified. And so because of that, we decided to also set for ourselves, before I go on, I also want to recognize that we have the Secretariat headed by Mr. Femi Titus Ogunsoya, who is the Director of Public Accounts Department, as well as 2 Deputy Directors, leading a retinue of very, very experienced technocrats to service the committee. The vision. Now, the vision we have couched is to significantly improve on the delivery of the mandate of the Public Account Committee as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution, the standing orders of the House, as well as legislative practices and conventions. The key word here is improvement. We acknowledge the work done by all the previous leadership and members of the Public Account Committee of the House up till the 9th Assembly. But the purpose we have set for ourselves, according to the charge of the Speaker, is to ensure that we'll improve on every area of the operations of the committee, and that forms the kernel of this vision. The mission is to ensure that ministries, departments, and agencies of the federal government utilize public funds in a lawful, prudent, transparent, and accountable manner for the good of the Nigerian people. Because whatever assignment we have, whether as political leaders or public servants or civil servants, has only one goal, and that is the goal of service delivery to the shareholders, or let me call them directors of Nigeria, and that is the average man or woman in this very blessed country of ours. Core values: transparency, independence, fairness, stewardship, collaboration, and public interest. Let me quickly speak on the issue of collaboration. We have come to realize that in the work that we do as members of parliament, there is a lot of misunderstanding of several things that happen. And part of the reasons why there is that misunderstanding is that there is a gap, as it were, between us and some critical stakeholders in the work we do. And we have decided that in this assembly, we are going to make sure that as much as possible, we bridge those gaps. And I thank God that the man who came to speak on behalf of the Civil Society Coalition made a reference to that, because we believe that in that collaboration, we are going to be getting better at what we're doing, and we're going to be able to get the right kind of information at the right time to the public so that they can appreciate the work of the National Assembly even better. Our strategic goals, Mr. Speaker, first is to develop our own capacity through regular trainings, study exchanges, and peer review mechanisms. The Public Account Committee is a committee that is replicated in every parliament of the world. And I go online to read about the Public Account Committee activities in India, in the United Kingdom, in Canada, in Ghana, in every part of the world. We believe very strongly that we have a lot to leverage on in terms of experience and activities. And we also believe, and that is why this unveiling of the Public Account Committee of the 10th Assembly is coming with a strategic leadership training to ensure that we are well equipped for the task ahead by having the right kind of information, the right kind of education, if I may say, to kick off and keep on being productive in the course of our assignment. Number two, we also committed to timely and comprehensive consideration of the audited financial statement and report. I'll come to that later. Again, to enhance our own capability to carry out oversight on all the critical areas that we need to oversight as a committee. We want to foster international and domestic collaborations. We also want to ensure that we proactively engage with stakeholders to ensure transparency and accountability in our operations. Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, we set out part of our strategic goal, what we call a complete cycle of activities. A few days ago, we had our first meeting and we invited the former clerk of the House of Representatives, who was one time the clerk of the Public Accounts Committee for 10 years. And one of the challenges he identified is the fact that for almost 25 years, I think that was what he said, it's been difficult to have the outcome of our consideration of reports in terms of resolutions in plenary. With the cooperation of the leadership of the House, we want to ensure that, one, we have our investigations, hearings, and oversight. We move on to the submission of our report for the consideration of plenary. We have the consideration of the report and resolutions of the House. And perhaps most importantly, we also follow up on the implementation of those resolutions. When there are no consequences for wrongdoing, we set a template for continuation of that. If anyone has come to infringe on the procurement, the Appropriation Act, for example, there should be consequences. The financial regulations have consequences set out for each breach, each violation. And even if it is just 20–30% of those violations that are dealt with, I'm sure that our quest as a country for probity and our quest to ensure that there is less impunity in the management of public resources will be achieved. So we are committed to ensure that we have this full circle of our activities to justify for the time that this committee will be putting into the work that we're having. Part of our agenda, Mr. Speaker, includes to digitalize the Public Account Committee meetings, oversight, documentation, and reporting system in a manner that will ensure that we have less of paperwork. We recognize the challenges that comes with this, but all the same, we have to transit, because at times when you tell MDAs to bring documents, they come in Ghana must go. Imagine one particular agency coming with 30 bags of paperwork, and expecting that you'll be able to do a thorough work. Now, with the benefit of technology and with the approval of Mr. Speaker, we've been able to get some assurances of support to get our committee rooms and hearing rooms fitted with devices that will make us work smarter and faster and ensure that members and the staff of the committee can do a lot of things in a more efficient manner. Secondly, we also have set for ourselves, and the Auditor General of the Federation, I thought we'd make a reference to this in his goodwill message, to liaise with the executive to facilitate the appointment of a substantive Auditor General of the Federation. We have had him serving in the capacity of director overseeing the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation for more than 1 year, I think. Almost 1 year. More than 1 year. Okay, and that has negatively impacted on the work of that office and of course on the work of the Public Accounts Committee, because it is the material we have from that office that serves as the raw material for the work of this committee. And I want to be urging His Excellency the Speaker to please help us take up this matter with the Office of the President, who has the powers by the provisions of the Constitution to make that appointment. We are also committed to ensure that we have a complete and transparent consideration of the 2019-2025 report. Now, at the moment, what we have is 2019. And I believe strongly that as soon as we have an appointment of an Auditor General of the Federation, it should not be difficult for us to have the 2020 and 2021 report, at least to start with. And we hope that in the course of this 10th Assembly, we'll be able to get to 2025 with the cooperation of Madam Accountant General and the Auditor General of the Federation. The next item has to do with the issue of the passage of the audit bill into law, which has been referred to by the Auditor General and the civil society. This is a very important piece of legislation which seeks to repeal the Audit Ordinance of 1956. So all we work with now is that we are still living in 1956, audit-wise, in Nigeria. And let me also use this opportunity to thank Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Speaker. The moment the committee gave a brief on this matter, gave an express instruction that it be listed with the cooperation of the chairman of the Rules and Business, and it was listed and passed by the House just last week. Please put your hands together once again. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for this. After the report of the Public Account Committee is considered by plenary, there is a best global practice that happens in most parts of the world, because the indictments that probably will come out of this report is there are infractions committed by the executive. Now, so where do you take the report for implementation? If you want to report the executive to the executive, you may go nowhere. And one of the best global practices is that there is an implementation tribunal of the Public Account Committee. Again, I must also thank the Deputy Speaker, who has prepared a bill, and that bill has passed through the first reading of the Public Accounts Implementation Tribunal Bill. And we are hoping that in the lifespan of this 10th Assembly of the PAC, we are going to get that bill also into law. And of course, that also has to do with the issue of proper follow-up. The next item, which is the follow-up of those House resolutions. Number 7, we are committed, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that we have value for money. And I'm happy that I think it was the civil society rep that mentioned this matter on performance audit. Now, it matters a lot. There's no point in just appropriating money and saying the money has been spent and then we're looking at the books. How much of impact have this spending made on the life of the people? So we're going to be doing a lot of performance post-audit, if you wanted to put it that way, from the Public Account Committee to ensure that we have oversight, to be sure that we indeed have value for money for the spendings that the National Assembly approves for all the MDAs. Number 8, Mr. Speaker, we are also committed to ensure that we have more active participation in regional and global bodies of Public Accounts Committee. Very recently, Mr. Speaker approved that some part of the leadership of this committee attend an event in South Africa. And the whole of Africa is looking up to Nigeria. In fact, the whole West African bloc came to meet the Nigerian delegate and said, where are you? Without Nigeria, they can hardly do anything. Unfortunately, we have not been able to actively participate in the activities of these bodies. And we are determined in the 10th Assembly, with the support of the leadership of the House, to ensure that our participation in the West African Public Accounts Committee, the Southern African Development Committee Organization of Public Account, the African Organization of Public Account Committees, and the Commonwealth Public Account Committees, that our participations are activated and sustained. Now, this next information is useful not only for us, but of course for the government agency that we'll be engaging with. As a committee, we also decided that we'll have the following hearing days from Monday through Friday, the following activities. On Mondays, 12 noon to 5 p.m. And on Tuesdays, 2 to 5 p.m. Wednesdays, 2 to 5. Thursdays, same thing. And then we decided that we're going to be leaving Friday, because one of the challenges that we discovered why most of these reports don't actually get far in terms of plenary consideration is that if we use every day of the week for the hearing, the secretariat, which has the duty of covering our hearings, also have the assignment of preparing those reports. Then they barely have no time to even sit down and prepare the report of whatever we do every week. And unless it becomes compulsory, we have decided that we're going to leave Friday for the secretariat to be able to do their writing of reports for onward transmission to the House plenary. We're going to be having quarterly oversight and project audit activities, study exchange and capacity building programs, and we're bringing up an innovation, Mr. Speaker, also that every year we should have a public account conference at the end of every year, where we'll be able to review the activities of the Public Account Committee in the preceding year and have all stakeholders, just as we have here, even in the bigger level, come together to discuss and then plan for the coming year. Also, we are committed to ensuring that we work harder on staff training, development, and welfare. We'll be bringing a lot of requests to you, Mr. Speaker. I was in a meeting with the Public Account Committee department staff very recently, and they told me it is one of the committees that close very late in the National Assembly. There are times that our staff are still in the office at 9 and 10 p.m., yet they do not have a staff bus. Maybe the Accountant General will donate one for them. So, you can imagine, I know she has the capacity. You can imagine working till 10 p.m. and you are going to Karu, Yanya, and all the other places, and then, how do you move? So we want to really prioritize the welfare of our staff in the Public Account Department of the National Assembly in a manner that will make them happy doing the job and more productive. I've spoken about our collaboration with NGOs, local and international society bodies, and other relevant committees of the House. Our expected outcomes, Your Excellencies, is to have a 100% review of public account with a focus on high-risk areas, ensure compliance of MDAs with the provisions of the Appropriation Act, financial regulations, the Procurement Act, Fiscal Responsibility Act, and other extant financial laws and regulations. We're going to be ensuring that we have published reports which will detail our findings after such findings have been considered by the House and resolutions passed on them. And of course, we'll ensure that we work together with other stakeholders to strengthen the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation, the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, and other relevant offices that will make this job easier and have Nigerians have value for entrusting their mandate on us. Feedback mechanisms. If you go online today and you want to see what is happening in the Public Account Committee of Canada, you will find Medium, you will find the YouTube and other medium through which you can see what happened in the Public Account Committee of the Parliament of Canada in 2007. You can try that for South Africa, India, Ghana. You can find it. Unfortunately, we don't have that, and we believe that we should start off. And the first thing we have done is to create a website, www.pac.ng, which I've been reliably informed has come to life as of this morning. Ensure that we have YouTube channel and other social media platforms where our activities can be followed by stakeholders and the public, who will also be able to provide us with feedback on those things that we need to do and how we can do them better. So, Your Excellency, I want to thank you for the opportunity of presenting this as a roadmap. Of course, it is a work in progress, and as we commence our activities, some of these things will continue to improve upon them. But we want to assure you, on behalf of the Deputy Chairman and all my leaders and members in this committee, that we're going to work in a manner that at the end of these 4 years of membership, it will be said of us that we came and we improved on the work of the Public Account Committee. I thank you most sincerely for your attention. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Public accounts, so many issues there and achievable. It's talking about something smarter, like a smart city, smarter and faster. Before now, people have this funny impression about, Ghana must go. They don't know what they take to the National Assembly. They have to go to Redefine and they bring 32 Ghana must go. And all those things are documents. But for the ordinary eye, 32 Ghana must go to public accounts. It's really not easy, but considering the fact that, this is an item on the strategic document is really, really important, because all you need to do is, practically everything is for somebody out there to think about somebody, your hook. And I hope that the Accountant General actually took note of that. You know, and I hope that, yes, for the boss. Yes, for the boss. It's a support.
Can we please welcome him warmly as he makes his way up here? As Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, the Deputy Speaker of the House.
Thank you very much. The leadership of the 10th House of Representatives here present, in the presence of the Deputy Majority Leader of the House, the Deputy Minority Leader of the House, the Deputy Minority Whip of the House. Let me also recognize the Chairman, Public Accounts Committee of the House of Representatives, and your deputy. Honorable colleagues and members of the Committee on Public Accounts, the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, ably represented by Director of Economic Research and Policy Management, Mrs. Margaret Ubona, the Accountant General, my sister, Mrs. Sakira Madane, the Director overseeing Office of the Auditor General of the Federation, Mr. Andrew Omudale, Executive Director, Africa Development Studies Center, Ambassador Victor Oluwafemi, my dear distinguished resource persons, members of the civil society organizations, invited guests, not forgetting the Secretariat of the Park Committee, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you greetings from the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, who is currently on his way from India, where he went to represent our great country, among other super parliamentarians around the world. And I must report that he made Nigeria proud while in India. I'm pleased to be here today at the unveiling and leadership training of the members of the Public Accounts Committee of the House of Representatives. The park is one of the most important committees of the House, and its importance is underscored by its express creation by Section 85, subsection 5 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. This section states that the Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly shall examine the audited accounts of government, showing the appropriation of the sums granted by the House to meet public expenditure, and any report made by the Auditor General of the Federation concerning such accounts. In the 10th Assembly, the Public Account Committee is committed to deepening its engagement with the executive arm of government to ensure that ministries, departments, and the agencies of government uphold the principles of accountability, principles of transparency, and prudence in the management of public funds, or if you like, public finance. The PAC is also committed to strengthening the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation in line with the best global practices. Like have been mentioned here, the recent passage of the Federal Audit Bill
to repeal the 1956 Audit Ordinance is in line with these commitments. And beyond the passage of this bill are other commitments. Like they just rightly mentioned by the chairman of the committee, that effort is being made towards having a tribunal that will be set up to monitor the implementation. It is good to audit, but it's also good to find out what we did after the audit. So in no distance time, the progression of that bill will move from second reading to third reading with the cooperation of the House. Also, it is important to note that the National Assembly is interested and committed to the Office of the Auditor General, and that helped us to discover that the resources available to this office, if we must speak the truth to power, is not sufficient to get the job done. A situation where 5 billion is committed to recurrent and 2 billion to capital. For them to audit a budget of 21 trillion in any global practices is not sufficient. What is at least adequate for that job to be done fully well is at least 1% of the total budget of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In that case, we're talking about 218 billion. That is what that office needs, if they must do the job and do it very well. And we are committed, as the people with the power of the purse, to review the budget of the Auditor General's office, unless we don't want the 900 MDAs to be well audited. Like the civil society organization have mentioned, most of these MDAs we are not touched, not because the political will to get them touched transparently to reveal how credible they have been in their budget performance. It's not there, or was not there. The issue has been lack of adequate resources. How do you explain the Auditor General's office having a grade level 8 staff, within the borders, in the whole federation, about 1,300 employees for the whole nation? It's not sufficient. They came down from 2,000 employees to 1,300. If they must get the job done, at least let's push them back to 2,000 employees so that all these MDAs will be well covered. There is no magic around this. If we want them to do the job, we should not make them magicians. We should equip them sufficiently to pursue the money of Nigeria so that the work of the National Assembly will be easy. Talking about the work of the National Assembly and how easy it's supposed to be. I had the chairman, very cerebral chairman, and just let me mention, the chairman, you've made us proud. You've confirmed to us we did not make a mistake by making you the chairman of this all-important committee. Very sound road map that will guide you for the next 4 years. And I'm sure other committees of the House, because we carefully selected the leadership, will also deliver just like you have done. But I heard you mention technology, and we totally agree with you. In our last leadership conference at Ekotegbeni, both the President of the Senate, the Speaker, my principal, and all the principal officers, we agreed that it was about time that this mandate of the Constitution with regards to oversight the executive, the other arms of government, be done with the introduction of technology. Because technology will help us become more transparent, to document better, and to also make the result that is coming out from our exercise more credible. And it was part of our resolution during that conversation. It was part of the provisions in our communique that our oversight function is going to make use of technology. So in no distant time, expect the launching and the unveiling of what we call NAS Eyes. NAS Eyes will be there to watch all the expenditure of government in all arms of government, so that the era of carrying those big bags of paperwork and coming to suffer members of National Assembly to stay up to 9 o'clock at night, and yet Nigerians will say they are doing nothing, that era will be in the past. To do this also, the collaboration of the executive the need for it cannot be overstated. We need, though we believe that we are three arms of government, we are convinced that though we are three arms of government, we are one government, pursuing one national objective, the objective of the renewed hope, where revenues, we chase them, and also expenditure, we make sure we block all the leakages as allowed by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The PSC's mandate is very broad and expansive. It covers all aspects of government, finance, including the collection, expenditure, and accounting of public funds. The PSC also has the power to investigate any financial irregularities, regardless of where they occur in government. To understand this vital role, it is quite auspicious that PSC members are trained to exercise their function diligently, without any let or hindrance. It is my hope that this unveiling will retool you to this call to duty for the taxpayer. You cannot afford to fail. I must commend you. You are starting very well. The speaker is so impressed, and also mandated that I must be here in person, not delegating another person. You have started very, very well. And it goes to show that the legislative agenda of the 10th Assembly, which the chairman is well seated here, is well represented here, is in line with this credibility and transparency that is found in open governance. And today, you have become one of the committees in the House to show the right step forward. We congratulate you. In conclusion, let me mention that I had the chairman request that the Office of the Accountant General make provision for a boss that will help the committees do their job. In as much as I'm not aware why you are clapping, we want to maintain that in the spirit of the doctrine of separation of power and the need to be thorough in the exercise of our duty, we will not be accepting that gift of a boss. In the spirit of the doctrine of separation of power and the need for us to be thorough in investigating the work done by the Accountant General's office, we will be saying no to that gift. Rather, we will be making, the Nigerians should expect that the House of Representatives, the Senate, will make sufficient budget that will be enough to make the provision for the committees such as yours. We will make enough budget that will enable us to do a job that will be credible, that will be without bias. The work of the PSC is complemented by the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. It is in this light that the Auditor General's office needs to be occupied. The appointment should be in place because it is a requirement of the Constitution. I am joining my voice to that of my brother, the chairman of the committee. We cannot afford to have an acting director, overseeing director, or in whatever nomenclature he is described, to occupy that all-important position. So this is a call to Mr. President to look into confirming the person who is there now, or anybody of his choice, to take up the role of the Auditor General of this country. It will send the right signal out that this government is really ready to pursue taxpayers' money. I am confident that the PSC will be vital in helping the 10th Assembly achieve its goals of ensuring transparency, accountability, and good governance in Nigeria. It is my pleasure to unveil this program, and I wish you the best of luck. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you so very much. Can we give him another round of applause? Group patronage. You are good, and you have demonstrated that. You and your committee have demonstrated that. Can we give him another round about a few things?
Everything out of my mouth. We are very we want to recognize the presence of Honorable Clement Jim. Before we go to the vote of breaking into the arbitrating session, to give a vote of thanks.
Members of PAC committee at the Secretariat, ladies and gentlemen, I want to, on behalf of the chairman and members of this very important committee, say thank you to Mr. Speaker and the leadership of the House for first identifying, selecting, and approving these great men and women to be part of this committee. They are great people because of their various backgrounds and experiences. We want to thank you and want to assure you that this committee will make the 10th National Assembly House of Reps very proud. While we are entrusted with this great task, I want to call on our members to know that the office of the Auditor General for the Federation reports directly to the public through the National Assembly, through the Public Accounts Committee. And that is why it is called Office of the Auditor General for the Federation, not of the Federation. Therefore, the tax, the vast majority of Nigerians are looking up to us. We must deliver. And that is why the committee presented a very good and logical roadmap that we're going to achieve. So we assure the Nigerian public that the committee will do justice to ensure prudent and effective management of public funds. We want to thank our partners for the support, most especially the Africa Development Studies Center for the support and ensuring that this unveiling is done today. On behalf of, again, the committee, I want to say thank you to all of you, and thank you for coming, thank you for honoring our invitations, and we'll continue to partner, we'll continue to do you proud, and we'll continue to make Nigeria proud. I want to also join voices in appealing to the President to appoint a substantive Auditor General for the Federation to ensure a smooth running of this committee and to ensure prudence management of public funds. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so very much. And so that's about wrap this first session of this all-important program.
Thank you very much. So the